Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. Today I'm going to be reviewing volume 21 of the series Haikyu by Haruichi Furudate. In my review of this volume, I am going to assume that you know what happened in volumes 1 through 20, or you don't want to be spoiled in what happened 1 through 20, or you don't care if you're going to be spoiled with what happens in volumes 1 through 20. So if you're not familiar with them, I would go back and watch my reviews on those volumes because I am going to assume you have some level of familiarity, just so this isn't a massive retelling of volumes 1 through 20. So Karasuno High School, the team that we are cheering for and following, has reached the final level of their qualifying tournament. All that stands between them and going to Tokyo for nationals is Shiratorizawa, which is a powerhouse school, the team that always goes to nationals, and Karasuno is fighting with everything they got to bring down this team, and Shiratorizawa is difficult and they is hard to beat. Because this is the game that's going to determine who goes to nationals, they're playing best 3 of 5 sets instead of best 2 of 3, which allowed the game to get going and us to see the characters and the play style and the problems and challenges without the pressure being on immediately. I think it might just be how these sort of tournaments are set up, but I think giving that much time was also beneficial to storytelling because it gave the author time to set up, again, the teams, the characters, their weaknesses, their play styles, and showcase all of that without the pressure being on immediately, because both teams could afford to lose or win a set. I mean, they can all afford to win a set. They can both afford to lose a set at the beginning because it's not immediately stressful. That being said, Shiratorizawa came in thinking they were going to win immediately. The spectators came in thinking they were going to win immediately, and they didn't, because Karasuno has taken them to a 5th set, and this game is tense, and this is stressful, and this is the deciding volume. I will say, after reading volume 21, you don't have to have volume 22 lined up immediately. You will know who's going to finals or nationals after reading volume 21. I know that Haikyu has a habit of ending volumes in tense moments. After reading 21, you will know the result of this game, so you don't have to worry about having 22 lined up immediately. At the middle to late part of volume 20, Tsukishima injured his finger. Tsukishima is a middle blocker that we have been following for a while. Initially, he came on the team as just someone who thought, I'm tall, I need something to do, I'm going to play volleyball. He was rather ho-hum about it, and he was very annoyed at Hinata's energy and passion for the game. He was just there to play a sport because I guess he needed something to do. But Tsukishima has slowly been developing himself and gaining skill, but not just like personal skill at volleyball. He's not just getting better at volleyball. I think he's also starting to love the sport, and this comes to a head in this game, this game against Shiratorizawa, and in volumes 20 and 21, so the volume I read before and in this volume. He injures his finger, and this is kind of the moment or the game where everything comes together for Tsukishima. We've seen his hard work or his ability to start actually applying himself at the game, something he initially wasn't doing. We've seen that come into form. We've seen that produce fruit of a sense in the fact that he's been able to do things in games that previously he wasn't able to do. But this is the game where he kind of gets the same level of energy and passion that Hinata has had this entire time, which is something that if you started at volume 1 and 2, you would have not seen that coming from Tsukishima. Tsukishima, in my opinion, has kind of been the dark horse, the one that no one has really been watching. He's been quietly working on himself. The entire team's been working on themselves. So it's not surprising. We've seen a lot of interesting character growth out of Tsukishima, so I already liked him. I liked him at the beginning, I liked his character growth, and I am so happy to see him kind of come into his own in this volume in a way that he hasn't in the previous volumes. He is really one of the, in my opinion, the better players on the team, and also just a good character. The author has written him well, and he's really enjoyable to read, and you can't help but cheer for him and want him to succeed in everything that he does. So Tsukishima has injured himself, and he is going to be able to come back in this one, or is he? Because we've had to put in a pinch setter, so middle blocker. I'm getting everything mixed up, and Tsukishima is, we're waiting to see what he's going to be able to do because he is injured, if he's going to be able to get back in time, because you can't just sub whenever in volleyball. So we're waiting. We're playing a waiting game, and we're going to see what happens. In the 5th set, it is a little quicker because it is best 2-15. You still have to win by 2, so if both teams wind up really close and no one is winning by 2, then we're going to have to go into the part of the game where you are going back and forth basically until one team has won by 2 points. So you don't just win by getting 1 point. So That does make it a little bit of a shorter game. They're not going to have to play all the way to 25, but it is incredibly stressful. The fact that Karasuno has taken Shiro Torizawa all the way to the 5th set is meaningful in and of itself, and also the fact that Tsukushima, the dark horse, has come from behind and really shown himself to be the MVP of this game is also really meaningful in a different way. Volume 21 is just magnificent. It's everything I want out of Haikyu. I had to emotionally prepare myself for this volume because I kind of knew what was coming, having read 20, and I had to emotionally prepare myself for 20, but 21 was a roller coaster of a ride and so good. I think it just embodies everything that I love about Haikyu in one volume. So if you've been reading the series and you love the series, I think you're going to really love volume 21. There's a quote in this volume that I really like. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But I think it just kind of encapsulates this entire game as well. They are close to losing, and their coach says, "Don't look down. Volleyball is a sport where you always look up." And I feel like in this game, Shiro Torizawa has come in metaphorically, but also kind of physically, because they are bigger in some respects, looking down at Karasuno. They're the team that used to have a reputation, but doesn't really anymore. Shiro Torizawa has the powerhouse reputation. They have the individually skilled players. They have the dedicated coaching staff. Not that Karasuno has a bad coaching staff either, but they just are bigger in every sense of the word. They have the skill, the power, the individual players that have the talent, and they are, in a sense, looking down on Karasuno. The players show that in some of the art perspectives, that they are looking down metaphorically and sometimes physically at Karasuno, but Karasuno is not giving up. They're the ones who are looking up, as they always do in volleyball. They're aiming to fly higher and be the absolute best they can, and I feel like that quote and that page just, again, embodies the whole spirit of Haikyu, and I just love this series. And yeah, I can't believe I waited so long to even read this, because this has been a wonderful ride. Like I said, you will know who makes it to the national tournament in volume 21, so no stress, no need to have volume 22, but if you've been liking the series, I think you're gonna like volume 21 of Haikyu. If you have any thoughts on this, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. Please put it in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.